I think you attract like-minded clients. When I got licensed, I got a hand tattoo of this rose. I don't know if you can see it. Where's the camera? Literally 2 days before I had the green light on my license. So I decided right then and there, I was like, I will attract like-minded clients. If they don't like the rose tattoo on my hand, maybe our personalities won't jive, and people find their people.
People find their people. I love that. Hey, it's Ryan Hodge, broker of record here at the Realty Firm. And our purpose on the No Secret Agent podcast is to bring you tremendous value, both inside and outside of the real estate industry, with some of our phenomenal members that are having great success, doing great things. And it is a pleasure today to welcome Brittany Landgren and Tiffany Dowker to this episode. So ladies, welcome. We cannot wait to connect and share who you are and all that you do.
Thank you for having us.
My pleasure. So why don't we jump in? I know that normally these are one-on-one type of interviews. There's two of you, so I'm going to do my best to navigate this. But maybe you can tell me a little bit about yourself, Brittany, who you are, how long you've been in the business, and a little bit about, just you and how you guys came together.
Hi, I'm Brittany. I've been at the Realty Firm for 8 years, but in the business for 11 years. Time flies when you're having fun. Born and raised in London, always was picking up real estate magazines when I was in high school. So thought, hey, I want to work for myself and have control over my work and what I want to do with life. So I was 22, I think, when I started studying and taking the courses, all while working a full-time job and a part-time job. But I was dedicated and wanted to get her done.
Super.
Yeah, it's been great. It's wild.
And it's been an amazing trajectory, which I'll get into a little bit later on here. But to bring the two of you together, what about you, Tiffany? Tell us a little bit about yourself, because I know you've got a different story as far as how you got into this market. But tell us about your path in real estate in general.
So I started real estate very young. I believe I was licensed when I was just 21.
Wow.
Yeah. I just always knew. There was no question about it. I finished high school and I was like, I want to be a realtor. So I waited a few years until I figured I was old enough to sell real estate. Looking back, oh my God, I was so young. I started with Remax in Alberta in a small little town, Camrose. And then I moved to London. So I've been with the Realty Firm for two and a half years now, I think.
Yeah.
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 And an amazing ride as well, as far as, just the great things for, not only, a younger agent, but an agent that's new to the market. I mean, that's never easy for anybody. I don't care what level of business somebody's been in. When you're jumping into a brand new market, it's pretty tough. And so what I know about both of you is that you're having tremendous success. You're having a ton of fun doing it, which we'll talk about in a little bit as well. How did you two come together in terms of starting to work in, a business environment as a, partnership, and how does that, work, and how is it continuing to work out for both of you?
So when I moved here, I knew one human being, and that was my spouse. So jumping into real estate, it was very intimidating. The market was extremely hot, nothing I've ever seen before in my entire life. It's insane. So I met with Britt. I wanted to do as many open houses as I can, get in front of as many people as I can. And so with Britt, she had a ton of listings. So I was like, hey, can I just be your gal? Can I just host all your open houses? So that's kind of how it happened. And then the rest is happened organically, really. We just work so well together.
I had been looking for help for a while, and I kind of secret shopped a few people of who I would jive with and who. So I started that by open houses, and I didn't tell any agents that I sent, not every open house like a weirdo, but a few of them I sent friends or someone in the area, like, hey, can you just pop through? Let me know how you were welcomed, stuff like that. And I know the first one Tiff held for me, the previous agent left the door wide open.
Wow.
Anyway, so she messaged me to let me know, but she was there like 22 minutes early for an open house, which makes me very happy. And I had a few people kind of like, hey, yeah, they were good, or, you know, they were okay. But everyone that went through said Tiff was informed, like happy to be there. It's one thing to sit in an open house and just sit at the table, but she was welcoming and kind and knew about the property. And she showed up on time, which is helpful.
Yes, that's always important.
Yeah, and we drive really well, so.
Nice. So when we talk about, you know, the way that you guys are working together, you know, from what I gather, and of course, from what I know, not only have you formed this really great working relationship, but, you know, obviously a friendship. I guess maybe you can lend some insight, because you're both having success, how important it is to really engage and network with agents. Because I mean, when Tiffany comes into a brand new market, she meets somebody like yourself. Like, there's such a great connectivity there. And we've had it at the company a number of times where, you know, whether it's events or training or, you know, socials, people get together, they form relationships, and then all of a sudden they're doing some business together. But on the flip side of things, there's a lot of agents, especially in this market, that are struggling. They don't engage, they don't go to socials, they don't try and cover off or, you know, offer themselves out for something like an open house. What would you say, you know, the importance and relevance of that is? And I also know that, you know, some of you are doing, you know, more with like agent opens and connecting with agents outside of our brokerage. You know, share some of your insight on how you feel about, you know, how that's working as well.
I am a firm believer, if you don't get out there, you're not going to get the work done. So I know for a few years, with the market being as wild as it was, it seemed easy. It's not, and you're seeing that like effective last May. So if you don't put the work in, people aren't just going to drop deals in your lap. And that's huge, especially for newer agents who want to get out there, because your relationship with your other agents at your office and other brokerages equally as important. Because if they know who you are, you might have the upper hand when you do have a client. You know, you want to get them something ASAP. But your client relationships and your agent to agent relationships, to me, are on equal ground.
Me too. Me too. Especially, you know, in markets that are hot, because I mean, personally, I talk to so many agents within our brokerage, other brokerages. You want to maintain relationships. It really does help make for a smooth transaction. But not only that, people have, you know, insight into things that are coming soon. And, you know, you can really find things for your clients that maybe don't even need to hit the market, right?
And if someone likes you, they'll want to work with you over someone maybe they don't know. And I know the agent to agent relationships did benefit some of my buyers in the crazy market, because we got a little more insight and stuff. And I mean, if it works for my buyers, then, you know, it's having a good relationship went that much further to help us get the property.
100%.
For certain. Can you tell us a little bit about how you operate, you know, your business? I mean, a lot of people are, you know, people that do open houses, or some people prospect, some people, you know, really work their database. Can you give us some insight as far as, you know, some of the ways that you know, work, you know, to generate business? And has that been something that you've, you know, weaved in together, or is it something that's, you know, separate and you do different things?
We do a little bit of both. So
Okay.
I do cold calling, I do open houses, I take referrals. Now with that, when we do, you know, if I get a lead from cold calling, we send our brochure out together. Britt has her assistant drop it off at the house, the package that we put together for the consumer. Pop buys, we do some of those together. Fundraisers, events.
Fundraisers, I don't like cold calling. Tiff's really good at it. Me, I'm like, eek! But I brought on help because I spent many years building my sphere. So I'm working mostly by referral, but you don't want to let some of the, you know, new people that we don't already know slip through the cracks. So Tiff is very good at that.
So you weave different strategies together, and it works together as a whole to create more sales, which often in our business is part of the notice of fulfillment. So you guys have created a slogan, which I'll allow you to share on, for NOFs only. Tell us about that, how that came to fruition, and how much fun you're having with it.
So
It's fun.
yeah, it is fun. So again, that kind of happened organically. So Britt and I decided that we were going to get matching house tattoos on our fingers.
Houses.
And the morning of, because we didn't decide on a design yet. And yeah, probably a couple hours before we were getting tattooed, I was like, hey, Britt, you know what would be hilarious if we got hashtag NOFs only tattooed on us.
So we did.
So we did.
So you went for it. I love it. I love it.
There was absolutely zero planning other than me typing in NOFs only on a Canva template, picking a font, and then heading over to Dave, our tattoo artist.
Yeah.
I love it. So let's talk
now
about that.
It's on sweaters. It's on our hashtags.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It is fun.
Actually, an agent stopped me the other day when I was leaving the gym. Tiff had us sweaters made, and I was wearing it, and another agent from another office stopped me and was like, that's amazing. And he was laughing. I think it made his day because he thought it was really funny.
We should have wore those today.
I love it. Let's talk about tattoos for a second, because that's a question that I get all the time. I'm interested to hear your perspective. So obviously some of us have some ink. Is that something that has now really gone by the wayside as far as how clients perceive tattoos or things like that? I know that for years, I was even concerned about, oh gosh, or what are people going to think? I moved past that a long time ago. But what's your perspective on that for agents that are, trying to create a professional reputation, and they're trying to, create a business for themselves? Do they need to be concerned or as concerned about, things like tattoos? Maybe that's a loaded question.
I personally don't think so. I think you attract like-minded clients. Actually, when I got licensed, I got a hand tattoo, this rose. I don't know if you can see it. Where's the camera? Literally 2 days before I had the green light on my license. So I decided right then and there, I was like, I will attract like-minded clients. If they don't like the rose tattoo on my hand, maybe our personalities won't jive, and people find their people.
People find their people. I love that. In terms of everything that you're doing, obviously you're both very busy. You're having a great trajectory together now, doing different things. How do you stay motivated? How do you stay intentional? I know that you both have other projects on the go at times, and family and everything else. What do you do to kind of stay tapped in, with the real estate, with your energy, with your wellness? Like, share some of that, because a lot of people, they don't talk about that as much in terms of what they do to really thrive.
For me, always has been the gym. I worked at Good Life for many years, so unfortunately it was downtown, so they encourage you to go on your lunch or throughout your workday to go work out, so that was a no-brainer. But for me, that literally keeps me sane, and if I can, I often start my days after, I schedule that in, so to me it's a non-negotiable. If I do skip the day, it's because I just don't have enough hours that day, but that might happen once a month where I'm like, you know what? It's not going to work. I'm going to have to just skip today, fit all my showings, meetings, whatever else is going on. But the gym is a big one to keep me sane. And also I do prospect while I'm there. So it's kind of a win-win situation.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I like to either hit the treadmill in the morning or late at night, and the entire time I'm on there, I'm doing emails, I'm doing some marketing for us. So it's kind of habit stacking. And then I'd also just mention like our accountability group every Thursday. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we set out our goals, and to come into the group every Thursday, you want to be doing the best you can. I find that keeps me very accountable.
Agreed.
And every week you're looking at your goals or your to-do list, and if something needs to be changed or added, we do that, and you just move on and try to do the best you can, better and better each week.
For sure. I love it. And I love the group that we have that engages in that. I think if more people engaged more, they would have more success in, you know, what they probably perceive as, you know, business as the big one. I know that my deepest truth to be a certainty that, you know, when we're staying accountable, when we're doing the right things personally, it leads to professional. I know you guys believe in that as well. What advice would you give for a new agent or an agent that may be struggling right now? Because there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of people that are having challenges. There's a lot of people that 100%, you know, we're kind of spoiled through the last few years as far as what real estate looked like, even though it was volatile, you know, making more money, houses were easy to sell. Maybe you can take us through that. And I'm curious to hear both of your perspectives. Britt, you from being, you know, longtime veteran in the London market, but Tiffany, when I, you know, listen to your story and I know your story as far as coming into this market during this time, during, you know, the pandemic, during, you know, the challenges and having come to a brand new market, but still having that success. I always say there's no excuses. I get people will disagree, but maybe you can lend insight for a newer agent or an agent that may not be having the success that they want. What are some of the things that they can be doing?
I would say, number one, you have to get in front of people. There's people everywhere. There's people at your gym, you get your nails done, there's people there, your hairdresser, like there are people everywhere. So be a good human being, be kind, be chatty, be yourself, and you will attract people. I've had clients come out of the strangest or most random places, right? So get in front of people would be number one. Number two would be find a mentor. If you are brand new in the business, you know, it's pretty common. You get out of your real estate school, your license, and you don't know anything. So find a busy agent that might need help, and you will learn a lot.
For sure. For sure. Britt?
I am same thing. Get out in front of people. If you're not talking to people, it's scary. It's scary to just talk to people and let them know you're in the business. But if you don't, they'll never know. So, and putting in the work, it sucks to work for when I started, I was 24 and I worked for 6 months before I got my first paycheck, and I was on a split then. So when I did get the paycheck at a much lower house value than we're at now, it had already been spoken for times 10 in terms of just signage and getting set up. So I was not going to be discouraged, and I was prepared. Hey, you might not make a sale for a year when you start, because someone is afraid. They're going to be afraid of you being like, oh my God, I'm going to be their first sale. That's terrifying. But if once you get one under your belt, you're good. Right? Or if you're struggling, partner up with someone that's, you know, really busy and needs some help. You know,
and,
you may not
knows their stuff.
Yeah,
right? Like
you may not
can go to for support.
You may not make full pop by helping a busy, productive agent, but something is better than nothing, and you're going to learn a lot from them.
Yeah. Number 3, I would say you have to learn to be okay with rejection. So when you're prospecting, if you're doing cold calling, even online leads, I mean, someone might end up on a site and end up one of your leads and not want to be, and people can be pretty rude. You have to be okay with it. Same with, you know, if you get your first sale, it's conditional, it falls apart. You're going to have to deal with that over and over in the business. Deals fall apart. You have to be okay with rejection.
Yeah.
I totally agree. My old partner used to say that the person that hears the word no the most wins the day. And I totally feel that has always been the case for me. I think that, you know, the other thing that you mentioned, you know, people don't wake up each and every day and say, I wonder how Ryan's real estate career is doing today. right? So
Precisely.
like even even our loved ones, that we're not that priority that's first of mind. So we need to remind people that we're not only in the business, but we're open for business as well.
Absolutely. And something I've always learned is when you're busy, you don't have to talk about being busy because you don't want to appear too busy
For
for
sure.
people. You want to
Yeah.
be busy but productive. And if you are busy and you need help, get the help, because having help will help you go further and do even more.
I agree. And I think that there's so many people right now that could benefit from that type of relationship, whether it's somebody that's joined my team in the past or considered a team, but they people don't get into real estate to join a team. That's usually not what their first choice is. But if they can even work within an environment or connect with a busier agent for a short time period and just treat that as one piece of their puzzle for that year or for a couple of years, number one, they're going to get proximity to somebody that's really doing it well. They're probably going to generate some relatively decent income, and then look what can unfold from there. So I fully agree on that. I'd like to switch gears for a second because I am curious. Brittany, maybe you can tell us a little bit about your staging company, why you opened that organization, and how that has unfolded now. And is it as important to stage a home now as it was in our previous market? Take us inside of the staging dynamic, because I think it's one that a lot of people can certainly learn some lessons from.
Okay, well, staging is super important and much more common now than when I started. People were very reluctant, I felt, when I started. And then I started collecting pieces like pillows and small tables and stuff like that for my own listings. And I don't know, I just wanted to bring more value to my clients. So I thought, oh, it'll be fun. I'll just have this little side hustle thing and open this business where I rent out all kinds of furniture. And a friend of mine who is out of home staging now, but she was selling a lot of her stuff, I purchased a full storage unit, and that's how I started. And the side hustle fun project has become a full-blown business. And I have a wonderful shop manager who basically runs it for me because I don't really have a lot of time. I don't know how I managed it before her. But it's home staging. I don't know. I feel like HGTV is what everyone expects every listing to look like. So we have everything from, home stagers that go in, or some agents just need a few pieces, to a completely vacant home that can be staged, because the buyer cannot always envision a space, or if it's set up or gives you a gist of how it could be set up, that could change the sale price drastically and bring the seller so much more. And it's pretty common now to see a lot of properties being staged.
Sure. And now, do you feel that is transitioning at all, or is it now relatively consistent that for an agent to really show their value, they've got to bring staging into the equation?
You want to stand out from others, right? So I know some people pay for it, some incorporate it, some pay for consult, and then their client pays. It all depends on how they structure that. But I can say, based on our stuff coming and going from here every day, that staging is very, very popular right now.
For sure.
Yeah.
What is coming up for the two of you in 2023? What are some of the things that you're looking forward to, business-wise, professionally, personally? Share what's in store for NOFs only.
NOFs.
And more NOFs. Love it.
Firm deals only. The puppy thing.
Yeah, we're doing a fundraiser. We just have it in the works now, so I don't want to speak too much on it.
Okay.
But that'll be a first for us.
Kind of a mix of clients and a neighborhood focus, but neither of us have ever hosted client events in a larger capacity because it's scary to plan, but we are doing it because everyone says you got to do it, and so we're doing it.
So we're doing it, and we're raising money while we're at it.
Super.
Putting all the eggs in the basket, and it's going to be so much fun. And
Nice.
for the animals. which we're both very passionate about.
I know that for sure. And that's amazing. I look forward to sharing and hearing more about it, and sharing, and anything we can do at the company to get involved and support in it as well. You let us know. Any last words or last minute inspiration, motivation words for, anybody that's thinking about a career in real estate, or, looking at, just how to do a little bit better if they're already in it?
I would say just stay positive, learn what you need to learn, and get out there and do it. Like you mentioned earlier, there is no excuses. Mm-hmm. You can find every excuse, but just get out there and find a way to do it, and you'll make whatever you want happen.
100%. Mm-hmm. Just remember that you are running your own business and you are the worker. You have to get to work.
Love it. Create your own destiny is what I'm hearing.
Exactly.
100%.
Awesome.
No one's going to do it for you.
Brittany, Tiffany, it's number one an honor to work with you guys day in and day out. I love seeing what you're doing. I love the energy that you bring to the table, both inside of the realty firm, outside of it with your clients and all the people that you are connected with. Ryan Hodge here, broker of record at the Realty Firm. This has been another episode of the No Secret Agent podcast powered by the Realty Firm. And we will look to continue to serve, support, and really, really contribute to our colleagues, our friends, our families, people inside and outside of the real estate industry on the highest level possible. We look forward to seeing you soon. So thank you so much, ladies, for attending today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ciao. Thanks,
Perfect.
Ryan.